So we went together to the school, we reported it to the school, and my granddaughter had told.
The world of Christian media is often filled with controversy. But when the Daystar Television Network, one of the largest Christian broadcasting networks, became embroiled in a series of shocking scandals, it sent shockwaves through both its audience and the wider evangelical community. The network, founded in 1993 by Marcus and Joni Lamb, has long been touted as a beacon of truth, using its media presence to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. However, the recent series of allegations and the public departure of popular Christian television personality Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson have thrown the network into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. The shocking allegations. The controversy began with an explosive revelation in late November 2024, when Jonathan Lamb, the son of Marcus and Joni Lamb, and his wife Susie shared serious allegations about inappropriate behaviour by a family member who worked at Daystar. This family member, identified only as Pete, allegedly engaged in disturbing conduct involving Jonathan and Susie's young daughter during a lake house retreat in 2021. The incident, which remained under wraps for years, ultimately led to significant tensions within the Lamb family and especially within the Daystar network. Jonathan and Susie were appalled by how the situation was handled internally at Daystar. Despite their claims being reported to the leadership of the network, they felt that their concerns were dismissed and the accused family member was protected. This led the couple to take matters into their own hands by publicly sharing their story. In their social media video, Susie expressed the anguish they had endured, revealing that despite their repeated attempts to address the matter privately, the network's leadership had insisted that no wrongdoing had occurred. This would set the stage for a public showdown between the Lamb family and the Daystar leadership. The internal investigation and cover-up allegations. According to reports, after the couple reported the incident to Marcus and Joni Lamb, the network conducted an internal investigation into the matter. However, the findings were troubling. Daystar's internal investigation concluded with no evidence of wrongdoing, and the Lambs were accused by some within the network of fabricating the story. Allegedly, when Jonathan and Susie sought further clarification, they were told that their daughter's allegations were false and that they were causing unnecessary division within the family and the network. One of the most shocking parts of the story was Joni Lamb's public defense of Pete, which she claimed was inspired by a divine revelation. In an apparent attempt to dismiss the allegations, Joni stated that God had revealed to her that Pete was innocent. To make matters worse, Marcus Lamb reportedly clapped in joy upon hearing this claim, which raised questions about the network's priorities and how seriously it was taking the allegations of abuse within its ranks. Julie Royce, an investigative reporter who has long been critical of Daystar's financial dealings, also weighed in on the matter. Royce's investigation uncovered that Jonathan and Susie's story had been mishandled, and her reporting raised serious questions about the transparency of Daystar's operations, both financially and ethically. The Lamb family's fallout and Jonathan's dismissal. As the scandal continued to unfold, it became clear that Jonathan's relationship with his parents had deteriorated further. Jonathan, once a rising star at Daystar and a key player in the network's operations, found himself at odds with the leadership, particularly with his mother, Joni. The fallout from the allegations about Pete was just one of the many issues that caused a rift in the family. Jonathan had also raised objections to his mother's decision to marry psychologist Doug Weiss, just 2 years after Marcus Lamb's death. Jonathan believed that Weiss's quick divorce and subsequent marriage to Joni were inappropriate, given the timing and the circumstances surrounding Marcus's death. This family dispute had far-reaching consequences, and Jonathan's position at Daystar became untenable. In 2023, after refusing to sign a non-disclosure agreement, Jonathan was removed from the network's board of directors and his vice presidential role. He was reassigned to a much lower position, overseeing the network's cafe and facilities. As tensions continued to mount, Jonathan was eventually dismissed from Daystar entirely. The official reason given by the network was that Jonathan had failed to comply with a performance improvement plan, But many close to the situation believed this was a retaliatory move, tied to his refusal to stay silent about the allegations and the leadership's handling of the situation. The role of Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson. Amid these explosive revelations, Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson, a beloved Christian television personality who had hosted the popular show Laura-Lynn Live at the Eagle's Nest on Daystar, announced her decision to leave the network. Laura-Lynn had long been a staunch advocate for truth and transparency, and her departure signaled a dramatic shift in the network's dynamics. In her statement, Laura-Lynn explained that her decision was fueled by the growing concerns about the integrity of the network and its leadership. The cracks in the foundation that she referred to were not just financial mismanagement, as some had previously reported, but deep-seated ethical issues involving cover-ups, abuse allegations, and the questionable actions of Daystar's leadership. The fact that such serious allegations had been handled with such apparent indifference and the lack of accountability was a breaking point for Laura-Lynn. As a well-respected figure in the Christian community, Laura-Lynn's exit sent a clear message. The scandal at Daystar was more than just a few isolated incidents. It reflected deeper issues of corruption and moral failure within the network. Her departure also raised larger questions about the role of Christian broadcasters in holding their leaders accountable and upholding the values they claim to represent. The wider impact on Daystar and the Christian media landscape. The revelations surrounding Daystar have had far-reaching consequences, not just for the network, but for the broader Christian media landscape. The credibility of Daystar, once seen as a shining example of evangelical broadcasting, has been severely damaged. Viewers who once trusted the network to deliver the gospel truth are now left wondering whether they were misled or manipulated by those in power. The Lamb family's bitter dispute and the handling of serious allegations of abuse have raised difficult questions about the ethics of Christian media networks. How transparent should these networks be with their finances? How accountable should their leaders be, especially when accusations of wrongdoing arise? And what does it mean for the credibility of Christian television when a major network like Daystar becomes embroiled in such scandal? For many viewers, the issue goes beyond mere financial or managerial missteps. It touches on the core of Christian teaching and the values that these networks claim to uphold. If a network like Daystar, which reaches millions of people with its programming, can be implicated in such serious ethical lapses, what does that say about the broader Christian media industry? How can audiences trust these organizations to faithfully represent the teachings of Jesus Christ when they are beset by allegations of corruption, dishonesty, and abuse? A turning point for Daystar. The departure of high-profile figures like Laura-Lynn and the very public nature of the Lamb family's allegations may mark a turning point for Daystar. The network's leadership will likely have to contend with increased scrutiny, both from the public and from regulatory bodies. How they respond to these revelations will determine whether they can repair their reputation or whether the damage is irreparable. For Jonathan Lamb, the fallout has been profound. His public disillusionment with the network and his family's handling of the situation have left him grappling with both personal and professional consequences. As for Joni Lamb, her leadership at Daystar is now under intense scrutiny. The network's future remains uncertain, as many within the Christian community continue to debate the implications of these scandals and what it means for the integrity of Christian media going forward. In conclusion, the events surrounding Daystar Television Network are a reminder of the complex relationship between faith, media, and leadership in the modern world. Scandals like these raise uncomfortable questions about the accountability of Christian organizations, and they force us to confront the difficult realities of what happens when those in power fall short of the very ideals they preach. For now, the future of Daystar Television Network remains uncertain, and its ongoing fallout will undoubtedly reverberate throughout the Christian media landscape for years to come. The Lamb family controversy. The catalyst for Laura-Lynn's departure was the Lamb family controversy, which became public in late November 2024. Jonathan Lamb, the son of Marcus and Joni, and his wife Susie, accused a family member who worked at Daystar of inappropriate behaviour involving their young daughter in 2021. Rather than addressing the matter with the seriousness it deserved, the Lambs alleged that Marcus and Joni tried to cover up the incident, with the network conducting an internal investigation that cleared the accused family member of any wrongdoing. The situation escalated when Jonathan Lamb claimed that his parents' failure to properly handle the allegations led to his removal from the network's board in 2023, despite his long-standing position and aspirations to take over leadership at Daystar. His removal from the network, which was framed as a performance improvement measure, compounded tensions, especially as it became clear that the Lambs were prioritising their family's image over the safety and well-being of Jonathan's child. Jonathan and Susie's decision to publicly share their concerns revealed what they believed to be a pattern of unethical behaviour within Daystar's leadership. The fact that Marcus and Joni Lamb allegedly attempted to silence Jonathan by having him sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, over the issue only fueled further suspicions. This entire situation, which Laura-Lynn observed closely, prompted her to question the integrity of the network she had once regarded as her professional family. The personal fallout for Laura-Lynn. Laura-Lynn's resignation from Daystar wasn't solely about the Lamb family controversy. In her live broadcast, she explained that the lack of transparency and accountability from Daystar's leadership, specifically the Lambs, had shaken her faith in the network's commitment to Christian values. She was particularly disturbed by what she saw as the network's failure to properly investigate and address the claims of child maltreatment within the family. Her decision to leave was also influenced by her personal principles as a Christian journalist. Laura-Lynn is known for her ethical standards and her dedication to maintaining an image of integrity and transparency. The scandal surrounding Daystar, including the network's mishandling of the Lamb family's allegations, presented a clear conflict with these values. For Laura-Lynn, staying with the network could have been interpreted as silent approval of actions that went against her Christian beliefs and the ethical framework she upholds. The fallout for Laura-Lynn wasn't limited to the Lamb family scandal. She also pointed to past controversies at Daystar that made it increasingly difficult for her to reconcile her role at the network. The most notable of these was the admission by Marcus Lamb in 2010 that he had been involved in an extramarital affair. Although Marcus reconciled with his wife Joni over the matter, the public revelation sparked a media storm, raising uncomfortable questions about the moral leadership of Daystar, financial mismanagement and scandals. Another significant factor in Laura-Lynn's departure was the ongoing financial controversies at Daystar. These issues were brought into the spotlight when it was revealed that Daystar had used ministry funds for personal expenses, including private flights on the network's luxury jet. The flights, which were often linked to Joni Lamb's personal life, such as her engagement to Doug Weiss, raised questions about the ethical use of funds meant for ministry work. In addition to the misuse of ministry funds for personal trips, Daystar was also scrutinized for its financial dealings during the COVID-19 pandemic. The network had applied for and received a Paycheck Protection Program (PPP) loan intended for struggling businesses. However, shortly after receiving the loan, Daystar used it to purchase a luxury Gulfstream jet, raising suspicions about the network's priorities. The financial mismanagement didn't end there. Daystar was also accused of financial misconduct related to the purchases and usage of its jet, as well as the luxury real estate transactions involving Joni Lamb. These revelations only added to the growing sense that Daystar was not operating with the transparency and integrity it claimed to uphold. The COVID-19 misinformation scandal. The COVID-19 pandemic further damaged Daystar's reputation. The network became embroiled in the anti-vaccine movement by airing programs featuring personalities who promoted misinformation about COVID-19, vaccines, and treatment protocols. Marcus Lamb was particularly vocal in opposing vaccines, lockdowns, and other preventive measures. His stance, which included filing a lawsuit against the Biden administration over vaccine mandates, ultimately led to his tragic death from COVID-related complications in November 2021. This opposition to widely accepted health measures, combined with Daystar's promotion of dubious medical advice, contributed to the network's tarnished image. For Laura-Lynn, the spread of misinformation during such a critical time in global history was another reason why she could no longer be associated with the network. She was deeply troubled by the idea that Daystar, a platform meant to spread truth and light, was instead contributing to the spread of falsehoods. The final decision. After much reflection, Laura-Lynn made the difficult decision to sever her ties with Daystar, citing numerous ethical deficits within the network. In her final broadcast, she expressed her deep sadness at having to leave, but maintained that she could no longer support an organization that had compromised its integrity in such profound ways. She also called for a return to accountability and transparency within Daystar and expressed her hope that Jonathan Lamb would one day take over the leadership of the network. In the aftermath of Laura-Lynn's departure, many Christian viewers and Daystar supporters have been left questioning the future of the network. With a history of scandals and internal strife, it remains unclear what Daystar's path forward will be. For Laura-Lynn, however, leaving was the only way to maintain her personal and professional integrity, and she has since sought to align herself with organizations that reflect her own Christian values of truth, transparency, and accountability. Her decision to leave Daystar is a reminder of the importance of maintaining ethical standards in both personal and professional spheres. It also raises larger questions about the role of Christian media networks in upholding the values they preach and the ethical challenges that come with running a large, family-led organization. Laura-Lynn's departure, while painful, serves as a powerful statement about the necessity of truth and accountability in all aspects of life.